Listen to Career Paths by Implement every Thursday.
You might learn something.
You might not.
Available on Apple Podcasts,
On Spreaker,
Spotify,
on Google,
and iHeartRadio. It's your life. Make it happen.
I'm a shotgun. You look at my desk, I got pieces of paper everywhere. I know where everything is. I know what it means.
Right.
Don't touch it unless I tell you to touch it. But I have to have someone like her in my life because she's following up with me. Hey, John, did you ever check on that? You know? Actually, I haven't. Thank you for the reminder.
Right.
I'll get right on that. But it's like, it's so great. But I've also had to teach her because we had this job that
Sure.
we did. And she had her spreadsheet. And she's like, we're supposed to have 25 fixtures downstairs, and we only have 20. We're missing 5 fixtures.
She's
Oh my
freaking out,
God!
right.
My spreadsheet does not line up to what I said. Calm, deep breaths, deep breaths. I
right.
said, I'm gonna call a contractor.
We'll get
They'll
there.
count the building.
Right.
Sure enough, somehow somebody had actually given them 5 more fixtures than what they were supposed to.
Mhm.
Put them in. They installed them in the building. I said, listen, we just need to build them for 5. Now guess what? Your spreadsheet's gonna be right.
Yeah, we're all good.
But she's like, but I don't understand how that happened. Okay, here's
Shit
how that
happens.
happened.
Shit happens.
We have humans that work here. Humans. And when humans do stuff, sometimes things don't go exactly the way they look like they're going to go on a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Work with me here, lady.
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful thing.
Well,
He's gotta
as
understand.
long as you got to work, as you got somebody that understands it. Once again, I don't know anything, and it's a work in progress.
Well, I've been a work in progress.
But
Hell, you
figure-
want to do that? I mean, I've been married to my wife for going on 34 years now. And I'm still trying to figure that
I
out.
can't believe she's
Still with me? Yeah, I know.
She's
People
not-
say that all the time.
she's not the smartest. That's all I could think. She.
Well, I never got the LASIK surgery either, so she really can't. I'm kind of a fuzzy blur,
Yeah,
you
that
know what I'm
makes
saying?
sense,
So
yeah.
I got it made.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, let's do this.
Let's do this.
I got questions.
I got answers.
I know you do.
You're
That's
probably
why
not going to like the answers, but I'm going to give them to you
you
anyway.
see. What's funny is I like all the answers.
Do you?
My
Regardless
guess.
who it is.
Okay. Your
It's
answers.
really
Are,
half the stuff you were just talking about, and I'm like, we really needed that on
we'll go there. We'll do some of this stuff.
recording.
We'll cover, because and we can ramble off. So you're just outside sales.
Yeah, it's outside electrical contractor sales.
Okay. I'll introduce.
Maybe
Guevin.
just Guevin.
Guevin. Why do I always say Guevin? Guevin, because
It
the way
doesn't
it's
matter. You know,
I
I go by
fucker.
Big John.
You've been
Big
called
John.
worse by better.
Oh, I have.
Guevin. Guevin. John.
Big John.
Big John.
I love it. Died in the bottom of mine, baby, saving everybody.
I remember.
love it.
Oh, I know that song.
Isn't that
Big
great?
Bad John.
You know, kids these days never heard it. When I played it for them, they were like, that is so awesome. I know. Big John. Right here.
Didn't you- Now
Carry
you
it.
know.
Now you know. Yeah,
That's all you need.
that's all you need.
Let me know when, Mr.
He's still looking out there going, oh my God, this
Oh,
is
he-
going to be great.
Oh, he knows that
This is just
I
going to go
suck,
all over.
and he.
This
But
is going to.
once
This
again,
is going to go all over
he
the
invited
place.
me. He asked me to do this.
Who's driving this boat? It's going to be awesome.
There's a driver.
I don't know. Is there?
No.
Okay.
Welcome to Career Paths by Infonet. I'm your host, Victor Boudreau. Behind the scenes, actually off to the side, is Mr. Ryan King. Say hello, Ryan.
Hello.
Ryan. Gosh, it's so nice to be here. Hi, John.
Hey, Vic.
How's the family?
Doing great.
How's the grandkid?
Fabulous.
Do you know if you're going to have any more? Is there
Yes, we
any-
got one more coming end of April.
Uh-huh.
Granddaughter.
Wow. So
Yeah.
grandson. Wow.
Yeah.
And how do you like being a grandfather? I know you said earlier, we were talking before the show started, that it wasn't very. Oh, I'm joking.
It's let me just put it to you this way, Vic. If I could have skipped having children and gone right to grandchildren,
Oh.
probably would have done that.
It's funny.
Fabulous.
Any of our guests that have grandkids, this is pretty much the same answer from, it's the good times.
Oh, it's amazing.
Well, you don't have the responsibility. You can take them fun, feed them full of sugar, and
Wind
then
them up, send them home.
bye-bye.
Yeah.
Then,
Dirty diaper, not for me.
well, you've changed enough of those over your. How many kids you have?
I have four kids of my own, yeah, and one grandchild, and another one coming in April. Yeah.
Wow, crazy.
Yeah.
And your wife?
Yeah.
What's your wife's name?
Cynthia. or
I know
Cindy.
I know I've met her, but it's been a while. I haven't tell her I said hi, by the way.
I will do that.
How long have you been married?
30. We're going on 34 years this August.
Jeez, look.
Yeah.
Ryan, do you have a clue how that works? Because Ryan, how many marriages do you have, Ryan? More than one. Okay, enough said.
I only have one currently.
Good for you, Ryan.
Uh, currently.
Currently.
And you're a grandfather, aren't you, Ryan?
Yes, I am.
How many grandkids? I haven't never asked you. How many grandkids do you have? Like 300 or something like that?
Yeah, right in there.
Okay.
Nice.
Ryan just got married on one of his current marriage. And how long have you been married now, Ryan?
Almost 2 years.
Okay.
Well, congratulations, Ryan.
And now he's stepfather. He gets to beat the wife's kids, and
Oh, good. Okay.
but they're big enough they beat back. So
Oh, okay. There's that.
yeah, you know. John, what's your last name?
Guevin.
You know, I screwed it up before I asked you, so I can't read. I can't.
No
talk.
worries. Most people call me Big John. It's all good.
Big John.
Big
You
John.
know, I've always loved you.
I love you too.
Give me a great big hug. We haven't seen each other for a while. It's good to
No,
see you.
It is great to see you.
Thank you for being on the show.
Glad to
John,
be here.
what do you do? What is your career? What do you do for a living nowadays?
Right now, my current role is outside sales or outside contractor sales for Gray Bar Electric.
I was going to ask. I didn't clarify if you could say they don't know, they don't care.
If they do, I don't care.
It's been a rough year.
It's been a
With-
brutal year.
with
So I
what-
took this position last March, the first week in March.
Oh, fantastic! So
Yes.
this worked out well for you.
Yeah, I got 20 accounts. I got to see 5 customers face to face before the quarantine lockdown. It was fabulous. So yeah, it's been an interesting journey.
So you've been doing this about a year,
Mm-hmm.
almost a year coming up.
Yeah.
What did you do before that, John?
Before I was a warehouse counter manager for about 18 years.
Yeah, and that's when I met you years ago. And
Yes.
And I had heard through our mutual friend that you'd done sales. So,
Mm-hmm.
so we'll get into all these questions. I'm not following my script here because
That's okay. You're good.
I don't have to. Fortunately, Ryan doesn't beat me too much for
Okay.
not sticking on because.
Well, we have that at work. The beatings will continue until morale improves.
Well,
So-
yeah.
So we like that.
Let's see. Background, married forever. We've already talked. That's in my cards. That's
Yeah, very
all my
good.
questions. You can't read them because I wrote them.
Yay.
I always ask age, rank, serial number. You're ish. How old ish? You don't have to
I'm
say
54-ish, going on 55-ish.
ish.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
A lot of guys don't say. I don't say because I act like I'm about 5 or 6 typically.
Just a number, baby.
It is.
I prefer to as a level because I'm at level 55 now. So that's
Ah.
pretty. You know, in gaming terms, I'm thinking that's a pretty good level to be at.
Wow. What else do we need to know about you? What do you do for fun? You know, that's a question I need to ask. What's your hobby?
You know
We
what?
started every time.
I've really looked into that, and my
Besides your
lifestyle is a little
grandchild.
different than most folks.
Why is that?
Well, my 3 youngest kids are special needs.
That's right.
So
That's right. I do.
they do Special Olympics, and so
That's
I
it.
help with that.
Awesome.
That's kind of a side hobby. I actually got to coach the powerlifting team that my son did for
Awesome. Wow.
for Special Olympics. It was kind of nice to watch him advance. So his first year, he got a couple silver medals, and then the last year they were able to compete, he got a couple of gold medals. So it was a pretty proud moment for him, and
proud.
proud moment for Dad.
I was going to say.
Yeah, not gonna lie. And I'll tell you something that I learned watching Special Olympics that I think a lot of people need to understand, especially with athletes the way they are today. If you don't think that competition or rewarding people who win a competition isn't important, I recommend you stop by a Special Olympics sometime. They award medals, gold, silver, and bronze for
Correct.
the top 3 finishers. After that, you get a participation ribbon.
Okay.
And I've seen numerous athletes at these award situations, and after the bronze medal is awarded, most athletes will say, yeah, you can keep your ribbon. I'm here for medals. I'm not here for a ribbon. And so if you don't think that the competition isn't there, I'm just telling you, it's for real. And when you see these kids compete, they know exactly what they're competing for, and they want that medal.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's not, man, there's winners and there's losers. And you got to understand, you learn lessons from losing.
Correct. Oh, yeah.
Because you know what? You learned that you never want to have to do that again. And I don't care what your skill level is. I don't care what sports you're in. I think everybody needs to understand that you grow from losing, you grow from failure. So,
I remember seeing online not too long ago the example of home plate, and a coach would wear home plate around his neck, and it's like, this has never changed. This is what you do when you do this. You throw the ball, pitcher, it's crossed. They don't widen it. They don't. When you run around, it's the same. It's the same. They don't change because what, and they're not compensating or, I'm not even sure the term I'm looking for right now, but making everybody equal.
Right.
Because we're not all equal.
No, we're
and
not.
The thing is, society is nowadays, we're taught that everybody has to be equal. And everybody should be, and we don't want to. Everybody's different, and what society needs to do, as my personal philosophy is, instead of having us, okay, we all get rewards, we all competed, it's all good, no one's a winner, no one's a loser. It's like, find the guy that's talented sports-wise. Do that. This guy he's a nerd, or brain. He has a talent that this guy doesn't have. But let's
learn to celebrate.
facilitate.
Let's learn to celebrate what people can do.
Yes,
Right?
thank you.
Let's learn to celebrate what people can do.
Thank you.
And it's not a put down to other people.
No.
I mean, I got to tell you, Vic, I'm a tall guy. I played high school basketball. I was absolutely awful. There was a guy, his name was Robbie Allen. He started. I was the secondary guy. I was the guy that came in and leaned on you and talked about your girlfriend to get your head out of the game. But he had phenomenal touch. He could lay the ball in so easy. It was like watching
That was
magic.
his talent. That's what
he had a gift.
Right.
And I would go in there and I would bang on people and I would do what I was supposed to do, but I understood what my role was.
Right.
But I had a passion for that. I loved basketball.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I played football, that's easy. You hit people. That's great. I love to hit people. I think it's fabulous.
Not if you're the quarterback, you're not supposed to hit. I'm just saying.
I was an offensive lineman, so I was protecting you.
Yes, there you go.
You loved me.
Yes.
But, you know, learning what your role is so important on a team, and understanding what your role is. You know what? I was fine with not starting and being that guy that gave Robbie a break for a minute or two. I was the guy that when these guys came back to the bench, I was celebrating. I had a towel and a water bottle. And I don't care who you were. I wanted to celebrate with what you were doing out there, encourage you. And, you know, that's how, you know, when you're a part of a team, that kind of thing just builds on itself. So.
Oh, I trust me. I understand. You know that. I do understand it. Great. Thanks for sharing that with us.
You bet.
That rolls over with your kids with special needs, doesn't it now?
Yeah, it totally does. If you want to know what unconditional love is, have a special needs child, because they love everybody the same. They don't care who you are. They're going to want to hug you. They're going to want to love on you. And you're going to have to learn that lesson. And I got to tell you, it's not easy. Being a special needs parent is not easy. It's a challenge every day.
Yes.
I can tell you it changes your life, because, you know, some people have set schedules and they know their life is going to be this, 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 this. When we wake up every day, it's like, okay, so this is what we're doing today.
Make adjustments as we go.
You got to adjust as you go.
That's
so
not
it's
a bad thing.
No, it's not. It's I've learned a lot from it. I really have. It's humbled me in a lot of ways. It's very humbling to have special needs kids and have that situation. But I think it's made me a better person. So.
I think you're a good person.
Well, thank you.
Like you care. You already know I love you.
Yeah, I know.
So you were 18 years counter warehouse guy.
Yep.
Let's go.
You want to kind of know how I got into the sales thing?
Let's go back.
Okay.
We had a couple. I haven't done an interview for like a week, so I want to make sure that I can go through. My basic questions is, so if you're doing sales now, you transitioned from 18 years, same company you were
Same
doing
company.
warehouse.
That's correct.
That you're doing gray bar, that
Yeah.
you're doing sales with now.
Yep.
So what inspired you to get from there to there besides more money?
Okay.
Because
this
obviously
is,
you
no,
can't make.
I got to tell you, that was not my motivation.
Okay.
So at the time, we lost some of our outside sales personnel. They moved on to different situations or whatever. It doesn't matter.
Right.
There was a need.
Okay.
And so what I saw was a need for the company. We needed someone to be the face of the company to go out and see customers, because we actually didn't have anybody in the role that I'm playing right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so I saw a need, and I thought, well, I can do this.
Well, you know the product and what you're selling.
That's correct.
18 years, you might know a couple things.
I knew some stuff and I knew some people.
You know
So
a guy.
the people that I were dealing with, they all had seen me because I was the guy. I used to tell people when I was a counter manager, warehouse manager, the buck stops here. And people laugh at that and they go, oh, yeah, whatever. No, you don't understand.
Right.
I'm the guy that has to make whatever happens, I have to make it right. Whether it's a misdelivery, the wrong material, getting the right material to the customer, whatever it is, that's what my job is, and I took it very seriously.
Right.
So now, transitioning into sales, I've learned some stuff in this last year. I will tell you this. This is I think this is paramount, and I hope people will really understand this. Even though I can do sales, it's a competency. I'm able to do it. It's not my gift.
No.
It's not, and I don't like the role. And in this last year, I've discovered I need to find something different because I'm not. When I come home at night, I'm not satisfied. I'm not, and I'm a very emotional person,
Yes, you are.
which is not good for sales. Because when things are going
True.
great, I'm up here,
True. Yeah.
and when things are going bad, I'm down here,
Right.
and I'm not an even keel kind of guy. So I get excited sometimes, and you know, sometimes it's good.
Right. Right.
Like when things are going good and I'm excited, I'm like, oh, I've got an opportunity, I want to do this. Gosh, we can do this, 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 we can do this. And people are like, dude, pump the brakes. You know, why don't you let's just close this.
Right.
And and that's the other thing that I've learned even through sales and even through my position before, and I think is something that a lot of people get away from is the fundamentals. And fundamental is something you learn in sports, but it's also something that you do in your job. Okay? And instead of trying to do trick plays all the time, right? Everybody's like, oh, trick play, this is cool. We're going to do this thing. We're going to throw it halfback's going to throw it over to the quarterback. Quarterback's going to... Well, that'll work once, right?
Yeah.
But then after that, everybody's looking for it. What I'm talking about fundamentals is doing the same thing, doing it the same way every time consistently. You know, when I was on the offensive line, it wasn't about we want to score every time. It was like we want to gain 5 yards every time we touch the ball. 5 yards, that's all we're looking for.
Gotta move the ball.
Right? Moving it forward all the time. You know, and so I guess in that aspect of life, I've always been offensively minded. I'm always looking to move things forward. And how do I help people move forward?
Right. Right.
And I don't care what situation you're in.
Right.
I want to help people. I mean, that's the most important thing. People think, you know, and I've always told people this, even my guys in the warehouse, so what do you do for a living? Well, I handle parts. No, that's not what you do. What do you do for a living? Because I'm in the people business.
Take care of people.
I'm here to take care of people. The most important people are the people that are right in front of us. And I think God gives us all an opportunity all the time to help people on a daily basis. And I fail at that. That's the part I love, is that I learn from it. I'll give you an example. This is great. I went to Costco for lunch one day, and because it's cheap, right? I'm gonna get a hot dog and a drink for $1.50, man. This is gold, right? Very, very. It's great. But I'm standing in line, and there's a guy in front of me, and we're getting close, and he opens his wallet, and he goes, "Oh, I guess I'm not having lunch today, or I guess I'm not eating." And he pulled it up his wallet, and he walked away. And I'm standing there, I'm looking down on my wallet, I'm like, I got $5. I thought, you dummy. What a great opportunity for me to buy a guy hey, you know what? No. $1.50. Here you go.
Yeah,
Let's sit down. Let's talk. I want to know who you are.
Yeah.
I want to know about you. I want to know about your life. I want to know about your kids. I mean, Costco's actually a phenomenal place. There's something about Costco. Now, I'm talking pre-COVID when they had to sit down tables because, you know, you had to sit down with a complete stranger.
Right.
And you didn't have your own little table.
Right.
So it's like, hi,
Hey, what's that?
can I sit here?
Right.
Right. But when you're at lunch, and like I was for myself, I found that a great opportunity to meet people and find out about people.
Right.
And even I love retirees.
Oh, yeah.
Because these guys are sitting down, and you're like, so, and then a lot of times it'll be the husband at the table and the wife's in, and I'm saying, so you're waiting here? Yeah. She's in getting, oh, yeah. So you're tired? Yeah. 25 years this, 30 years that.
Yeah.
So what's it like every day waking up and it's a Sunday? It's fabulous. And they tell you straight up, it's fabulous. But they love to tell you what they did.
Oh, yeah.
And they love to tell you what they're doing now.
Well, yeah, that's...
And you know, and I guess it's just, it's a lot of fun investing in people.
I agree.
And having these conversations. And it's just, and the other thing about it, though, that's phenomenal to me is food. There's something about eating food with people and conversation that makes it great.
Breaking bread.
Oh, all the time. I mean, we've been to lunch a bunch of times, you, me, and Roger,
Yes.
and it's phenomenal. I love that. I mean, it's just sitting down and
We need to do that again.
yeah, we do.
Yeah.
I love it. Well,
It's good.
we're getting to where we can do that again.
Well, we could
Pretty
do
soon.
it again.
Yeah, we should do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Roger and I have kept consistent. It's been a while. It's been some months since we've got together last time, but that's something about Roger since we had reconnected years ago. So yes, we need
That's
to do
pretty
that.
phenomenal.
I value friendships. I value, even though you and I don't talk all the time, whenever it's like seeing you today, we haven't seen each other for quite a while.
Mhm.
But it's like hug each other, and it's like I'm always. People are great. We're a people person.
Yeah.
And I love to talk about, find out what somebody's doing, share their life.
What makes them tick?
That's just my brain knowing people. I should
Yeah,
have
it
been a
is.
psychologist or psychiatrist because there's things I analyze stuff, and being older now, you ever see something and go, or hear something, a tidbit of something that's going on, going, that's what's, you can see the finale of what's going to happen. Because
Oh,
I
boy.
did that
Boy,
with
howdy.
somebody, and I
Yeah.
went, you're going to end up divorced, because, and they,
Mhm.
I said, 5,000.
Yeah.
I was right, and I said, just take it with your dog. Yeah. He goes, how did you know? I'm an old guy. I've seen
Yep.
stuff.
Good.
So anyway, John,
Yes, sir.
it's all good. That's
Yeah.
what. Did you out of high school? Did you go to school?
I did.
Are you college educated? I mean, educated.
Well, no, I'm educated in life, buddy. That's where I got my education.
Hard knocks.
Yeah. Because let me tell you, I'm going to learn a lesson. If I'm going to, it's going to be the hard way every time. Because if I can't do it the hard way, it's not worth doing.
I do it
right?
several times.
So, no, I went to college for 2 years, criminal justice major. Thought I wanted to go in law enforcement.
Wow.
And I think that would have been a good calling for me. But I met my wife
Where'd you meet your wife at?
at a frat party. And we danced.
Oh, it's all downhill from there.
It was great. Apparently, well, no, I'm not going to tell you. Anyway, we met at a frat dance and got to know each other. I pursued her. I will say this. She ran. She tried to get away.
Wow.
I pursued her for a good solid month and a half before she relented.
Wow.
Because she finally realized there was no hope.
Wow.
Should have been a cop.
So 34 years
Jason.
now. Actually, now it's, well, married 34, but actually together 36.
So would today's terminology be stalker? Okay,
Yeah.
never mind. But
We
anyway,
used to go on long walks, and she didn't know. It was great.
okay.
Yeah.
So you went to school, blah blah blah. You're
Yep.
gonna do that.
Discovered that she wouldn't marry a cop, and
Why
so she didn't want the stress.
Okay.
So
Makes
she told me that, and then we got married. We moved to Florida for a while. I became an electrician, the second most dangerous trade at the time behind
Ryan
cop.
actually does electrical once in a while.
Okay, so he knows.
So I stand back from him when he starts touching stuff because he.
Yeah, it was a good trade though, and it was good. It was a good experience. I did that for about 2 years in Florida, 10 years in Nevada, and moved up here. Moved up to Washington back in '99. Brought my whole family up here. Mother-in-law, dog, 4 kids, wife.
Everybody.
Had no house, no job. Started from scratch. Just hit it.
Okay, explain that in case anybody hasn't. I've never done something like that. Obviously, Ryan's taken off and moved to Florida at one time some years ago, but he had something to go to. So why, and how? First of all, to Washington, and with nothing planned out, nothing set. Just I'm bored. I have nothing better to do. What the heck was that?
Well, we had some stuff going on, and family stuff with my immediate family. Not real close with everybody in my family. I'm closer to my younger brother Steve than I am my youngest sibling and my older sibling. We just don't mesh.
Things happen.
So, my wife's uncle lived in Deer Park, and we'd come to visit, and he had this beautiful piece of property on a mountain with a
You'd at least
meadow.
you'd been.
Oh
here.
yeah, we
You'd
came to visit.
Okay.
And I thought it was beautiful.
Thank you. I just
And
I
so,
assumed
yeah.
you for some reason
Threw a dart.
and
No, no. I'd seen his property. I thought, man, I want that. And then we moved up here, and we didn't buy that. So it was great. Yeah. So
Yeah, but you have, how many acres do you have now?
I have about 6 acres.
Yeah, you have a nice little.
A little mini farm.
Yeah.
Got some cattle.
Yeah.
Had some pigs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not anymore. They're in the freezer now, but
It happens.
Good stuff.
So let's back up real quick.
Yeah.
When you went to school, did you? Okay, so you want to be thinking you want to be a cop.
Right.
how did you go immediately into? It was a community college, a regular.
University of Nevada, Reno.
Thank you.
I had an opportunity to walk onto the football team there because my
Okay.
the coaching staff had invited me to, and I declined. In high school, football was fun, and I had a great time. But I understood when you move to the next level,
Apparently, it's And
it's more of a job,
Yeah.
and it was not a place I wanted to go. I
Right.
wasn't that serious about it.
Right.
I really like to hit people,
Right, and it was
I
fun.
like to do that, and
Right.
it was fun. But taking it to that next level wasn't
Right.
part of my.
Okay.
And you got to understand. I think we kind of covered that a little earlier, but football wasn't my passion. Basketball was my passion.
Okay. Yeah.
I really wanted to. I really wish I would have been more coordinated and
Talented
talented. Yeah,
for basketball.
for basketball,
in general.
I just wasn't,
Talented.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
it's all good.
I know, John.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if everybody else caught that I was insulting you.
Oh,
Ryan, did you?
I did.
Okay.
it's all good.
I'm used to you doing it to me, so.
We've known each other. If we're nice to each other, something's wrong. So, how long were you in school?
Approximately 2 years.
Okay. And then you decided no, and you met your wife,
Yeah, met my
and
wife,
then
and
went,
then
oh, I got to
yeah.
do something else, and
Yeah.
then went to electrical. Did you do any training for that?
No, on the job training.
Did you join a company and they train you? Is that what?
Yeah,
so,
you
because
kind
I-
of do an apprenticeship. So
Thank you.
what I did is there was a gentleman there, and I actually love this story. His name was Lou Iamelli. He was
Lou Iamelli.
Iamelli. He was from Jersey,
I would. It
and
sounds
he was
like it.
fabulous. And he taught me the trade. And what I loved about it was when I was first learning from him, he was teaching me the trade and telling me how to do things. And at some point, we brought on another guy, another young guy, another apprentice, and he was asking me. So, and I was telling him, this is how you do this, and this is how you do this. And
You were talking to the young guy.
I was talking to the young guy,
Okay. The new
explaining
guy.
how we do this. He goes, well, how come we do it that way? I go, because Lou said. And so whenever he asked me anything, well, why are we doing this? Because Lou said. And Lou heard me one day. He said, dude, he said, you can't tell everybody that I said. It's the code. We follow a code. It's what the code requires.
There you
It's
go.
not. But I always kept telling her, well, why are you doing it that way? Because that's what Lou said.
The boss.
That's the way I learned.
The boss told me to.
But yeah, I took it, and I had a gift with it. Electrical came really easy. My mind wrapped around the
Once again,
concept
your
of
talent,
electricity very well.
Your brain works.
I loved it because it just clicked for me, and it was funny because then my work ethic kicked in. See, and this was a funny thing. So I worked for this small company. I was always there first thing in the morning, and I'd
How
load up
dare
my
you
van.
show up on time?
Well, actually, for me, on time would have been late. I was there early. But it got to the point where I would go to these jobs, and what would happen is like you'd be really close to finishing the job. Let's say you're working on a house. You might have a half an hour, 45 minutes left to finish it so you wouldn't have to go back. So my philosophy was, well,
Get
I
it
don't
done.
want to roll all my crap up right now, come back the next morning, roll everything back out, do this 45 minutes worth of work, roll everything back up, go to another place and roll everything back out.
Okay. Even
So-
though you're being paid hourly, some
I'm
guys
being
would
paid
do,
hourly,
some
and
guys
I
would
didn't
do
care. I didn't care.
That's fine.
I finished the job.
You were.
But I got a talking to. One of the older guys said, "Hey, you're making the rest of us look bad."
Yep.
And I told him, I said, "No, you're making yourself look bad." I said, "There's a reason why the boss gives me the latitude he gives me. I was the only one that was allowed to go. They had a parts cage, and the only person that was in there was the guy that was doling out parts.
Right.
I was the only electrician in that company that was allowed to go in and pull my own parts.
Okay.
So
You
there was a
the
method.
respect and-
There was a method to my madness, and I'll tell you, that's the one thing is getting people to take.
these days.
It's not, but it needs to be.
I agree.
You got to teach people. They got to understand.
Oh, I agree. I'm not
You know,
arguing. I'm just.
With the crew that I had in the warehouse in the counter area, when I had people come into my building, I go, "You're in my house. Just you need to understand these are my people. So if you have anything to say, or if there's anything that you want to talk about, you bring your concerns to me. This is mine.
Right.
I own it.
Right. No,
And I think when you do that, and the people around you understand that you have that mentality, they own it too. And it makes it really easy for you, because then decision making becomes just a process where they know the right thing to do.
Right.
And a lot of times then they don't have to come and ask you, well, what do you think I should do? Well, I turn it, well, what do you think you should do? Well, I think we need to do this because it's right. Well, then you should probably do it that way. Right? So, as far as me, leadership and management was 99% of it, people know what to do. They just looking for that 1%. of you saying, well, I think you should do the right thing. Okay. And
Yeah,
then they jump in.
and sometimes they got to be taught and understand, especially younger, that
Right. I struggled with, I had one,
that's just teaching your,
yeah. I had one person that really struggled with it, and I used to hate, I mean, the one thing I used to tell people, if you can't show up on time, and then what I'll do is I'll change everybody's hours. We'll make it easier for you. Okay, we'll accommodate you.
wow.
Not very popular with everyone else, and then halfway through the day came to me and said, hey man, you can't do this. I said, well, why not? He goes, well, everybody wants to beat me up, and everybody hates me right now.
Yeah, thank you.
I go, well, I said, I've asked you a million times. I just thought I'd make it easier for you.
Right.
If I change it, it'll make it easier for you to get here,
that's a
right?
good way to approach that.
But I always told people, don't make me be the manager you don't want me to be.
Right.
You get to choose.
Yeah.
If you want a guy that wants to come alongside you, that you can ask for help, or you want to ask me anything, I don't want to just be there for you for work either. When it comes to life,
Right.
I had a young guy that was working with me, and I'll never forget this. He was newly married, and he said to me, he was really nervous. His wife and him had a discussion about kids. He wanted to wait. She didn't. Well, a month later, she turns up pregnant.
How'd that happen? Okay.
Yeah, well, it's magic. And he came to me, and he goes, John, he says, I'm really worried about this. I said, what are you worried about? He goes, well, I didn't have a dad. His dad left when he was a young guy, and he says, I don't know how to be a dad. And I told him, I said, listen, you're going to be a fabulous dad.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, well, what do you mean? I go, because you know how not to do it.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
And you're going to love your kids. And I tell you, and I got to tell you, he is the best dad. He is so awesome with his kids. It's so phenomenal to watch someone walk in that.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's more than that. It's investing in people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Caring more about them as a person.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, ironically, it's the same guy I hired him. He turned 21. The second day he came to work, he was hung over. And he literally was laying on our stainless steel counter. He goes, I bet you want to fire me. I said, what, you don't think I didn't turn 21 once?
Mm-hmm.
I go, this is just a day, dude. We're going to go through this. Here we go.
Yep.
Let's do this.
Yep.
Right on. So, yeah.
I like how you dealt with that, the approach. We'll just change it for you. I like that because sometimes you have to give them perspective, and sometimes you can give somebody information, and they just don't get it. My biggest thing, like psychology, or how do I get through to somebody, or how do I communicate what needs to be communicated? First of all, everybody thinks is different, and they take a different,
Right.
But sometimes it's like, wait a minute, that's not. So how do I be better to help them be better?
Right. Communication's the key, and it's difficult.
Oh, yeah.
Because everybody communicates differently and at different levels.
Right.
And what you think someone
Oh,
may
yeah.
understand without them saying, okay, what did I just say? And
Right.
repeat it back to me, and then I'll repeat back to you, so that we both know
Even
what
then,
we're saying.
it doesn't.
And even then,
always,
it doesn't
yeah.
always work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like that because sometimes
Mhm.
that's why we're doing the show. Education, try to give information, help somebody else.
That's awesome.
So doing your sales now, so you transition, you had to apply for that job, correct?
Yeah,
for
I
your sales
did.
job.
Mhm.
How long did they string you along? Just curious. Did they string you along? Did they mess with you? Like, because they actually knew you?
It was ironically they did, and it was funny. I actually at one point almost didn't take the job because I had reached out and I told them, listen, this is what I bring to the table. I got all this year's experience. I know the contractors. I think I could do
Yeah,
a
you
great
already
job
dealt
for
with them
you.
with coming in or
Right.
taking care of them.
And I just got radio silence from the upper ups.
Sure.
And then when they finally did call me and say, hey, are you ready to go to work? I said, are you talking to me? Because I talked to you about this 2 weeks ago and had radio silence.
Yeah, I'm just doing.
I'm just doing what, I almost resigned myself to the fact, okay, they've got it figured out. They don't need me.
Right.
So it was an interesting experience. I actually,
No, I'm sure.
ironically, I pursued it,
Mm-hmm.
which I look back now and think, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? I should have stayed where I was because life is very different now. And,
Yes. Well.
and it wasn't, my expectations were completely blown. I mean, completely blown as far as what I thought I was getting into and what I do now. It's not even close. So, yeah. I'm still helping people, but sales isn't what I thought it was going to be. I mean, it's just not. I really saw myself, and customers are different. Coming along people and trying to work with people, they're not always eager to work with you sometimes.
No.
But
But once again, perspective.
right.
They're going through
They got
and
their
you're
own
just
thing.
this over here, and you're
Yeah.
trying to help, but they can't even. They're not even. They got all this
Right.
running.
And you
business
gotta develop that relationship where they have to understand that
right.
what I say I'm gonna do is what I'm gonna do.
Right, right.
And sometimes you have to do it and it hurts. And sometimes, it's like, or even taking a sale and understanding, hey, customer got in trouble with whatever, I need your help. Okay. This is where, it's easy to love people when it's easy, right? But when things
I
get
like the challenge.
hard, that's when most people
Oh,
will
yeah.
either walk away
Well, once
or
again,
they don't want to walk through it with you. See, and I'm one of those guys, nah.
Yeah,
See,
let's
that's
go.
no. If we're going to do this, I'm going to get dirty too.
yeah.
And we're going to walk through this together. Because that's how you're going to be successful. In order for me to be successful, they have to be successful.
Oh, I agree.
Right?
Yeah,
So it makes it pretty simple.
yeah. Sometimes they don't see that. They just
No.
see you as you're selling.
Right, well, because the whole concept of sales is just almost like a dirty word. I mean,
Well,
you're in sales. Well, yeah, that means you're using smoke and mirrors, and were his lips moving? Well, yeah,
Right,
that
right.
means he was lying.
Once again, yeah,
Yeah.
I've done sales, and I don't consider myself a salesman.
Mhm.
I'm a customer service or people guy.
Yeah.
Because I don't know everything. I don't know the answers, but my customers over the time, for me, if they ask me something or they need information or whatever, and I go, I don't know, but let me find out.
Isn't that phenomenal, though? Isn't it neat to have customers? I mean, that's the one thing I think is phenomenal about a lot of my customers, is they're willing to teach you. And when you tell them, when you go, man, I have no idea, man, I don't know. Hey, well, you know what? Let me teach you.
Oh, yeah.
Here's what this is. Here's what it does. This is what it looks like. Well, thank you. Now, next time moving forward,
Yeah,
if someone asks me that question, I can be like, well, So again, down to.
well, I'm referring to just product or how something needs to be done or whatever with a product.
Right.
And I haven't played with it enough. And so I can go get answers from the manufacturer, the
Come
rep,
back.
or whatever. And whether they contact my customer or if as long as I take care of my customer.
Right.
That
Well,
trust.
you want to be a solutions provider.
Exactly.
See, that's exactly what you want to find, a solution for them. And sometimes that entails thinking outside the box.
Oh, yeah.
And getting creative. A lot of people, they get stymied or they get stuck. I mean, I've got a young guy that's he's a sales trainee, and I love it. And he's working with one of my customers. He's like, well, we don't have this that you're looking for. And I said, well, ask him if he can use that.
Mm-hmm.
It may not. It's the same product, but it's in instead of getting a 250-foot roll, he's going to get a 1,000-foot roll,
Mm-hmm.
and he wanted to buy 1,000 feet. Well, ask him if he can use that. Well, okay, it's just. But you know what? Some people would look at that and go, well, we don't have what you want.
Oh, yeah.
We don't. I'm sorry, we're out.
Right. Oh, no.
Okay, and teaching people, okay, don't tell them what you can't do, tell them what you can do, or come up with a solution.
Oh, exactly.
Find a way to meet their need.
Mm-hmm.
Where they need it.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's where a lot of people are like, well, that's not easier for me. Well, that's too bad.
Learn and figure it out. It's
Yeah.
a process.
It's a
I mean, we
process.
didn't learn it. We didn't know it. I mean, obviously you didn't know it
No, I didn't.
initially, but you learn that over time, and
Yeah.
you get to know product or what you do, and you know your customer, and you get the solution, because sometimes you don't have exactly what they want
Right.
in the warehouse. You can't get it for a couple days, but they need it today or tomorrow. It's like, but this should work for them.
Right.
Let me see if they will accept that
Also,
solution.
but
for now.
don't be afraid if you can't do it to show them a way that they can.
That's what.
Like what, and I mean by this, we have Graybar has competitors and they have different products,
Mhm.
right?
Correct.
If I don't have what you're
I
looking
understand.
for,
Yeah.
hey, you know what? I'm out right now, but
Yep.
so and so down the street, he might have it. Sometimes I'll even make the phone call.
Correct.
I used to love doing that at the counter with the customer because they would say, I didn't have what they need. I said, well, we'll just call over here. And I'd ask them what their name was, and then I'd call up and I'd say, this is so-and-so from this company, and I'm looking for this. Oh, well, we've got those. Okay, I'd like for you to put that on will call for me, please. What's our PO?
I never did that. I actually would call. I'd call the competitor
Mm-hmm.
because I knew him,
Yeah,
and I go, "Hey, this is so and so. Hey, what's up? Yeah, I got so and so or a customer that needs this. Do you have it? Yeah. Okay, hold it. You want to get it? Okay. But
and people look at that, and if you understand, and I think it's funny because a lot of people are like, oh, I want the competition to fail. I don't want my competition to fail. I need them to be good at what they do because we're good at what we do,
Mhm.
and if we can work together, we can do a lot of great things. right?
Yeah, it's business is big enough.
Yeah, plenty big enough. There's plenty to go around.
There is, and I don't need all the money in the world personally.
No.
And if somebody else at work, really. So, John, let's go. We're going to. I love it though. Thank
Okay.
you. I'm
All right.
enjoying it. What's a typical day consist of you these days? Task, your hours, etc.
Oh, it's awful. I get up,
Fantastic.
yeah, I get up early in the morning.
What's early for you?
Usually about 4:30ish, 4:45.
Okay.
I roll into work, get on my computer, look at emails to see all the stuff that people are not happy with or happy with, or
What you gotta-
junk, throw stuff in the
What
garbage.
you got to deal with? What's coming up?
Right. Try to see what's going to be happening throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
Try to make myself available because with contractor sales, things seem to happen
Every day.
every day,
Constant.
whether
Yeah.
you're there or not.
Yeah.
And so you have to be able to react
And deal with it.
and deal with it. And so sometimes you're plates, sometimes you're spinning plates. Sometimes you got 2 or 3 plates in there, and you're just keeping them spinning. And you're okay. I'm checking on this. Yeah, that okay. We're on it. We're gonna get that. Okay, great. Oh, you need a quote on that? Yeah, hang on. But I will tell you this: I lean on my team. I got a phenomenal team. I got an inside guy that I can count on. I've got a couple of quotes people that I count on. A project person that's amazing. And here's the thing I've learned. You know what? I don't have to do it all myself.
No,
I need to count on those people, and I need to allow them
that's their job. That's
to
what they
do
do.
their job, right?
Exactly.
And the other thing is, you got to tell everybody how great they are. That's the thing I love about my job is I go out there and I tell them, well, who does your? I'll say, well, Devin does my projects, and she is amazing.
Right.
She is the most phenomenal, most organized person I've ever met in my life, and she will help your project, whether you want to help or not. She's going to find a way to help.
Right.
But I mean, you got to constantly be building people up. Everybody around you, you want everybody to know that the people around you are there for
I
you. Because a
agree.
lot of people, they're like, well, I only want to deal with one guy. Well, I'm going to let you down if that's all you want. I can't do it all. I can't.
Right. Right.
I just physically, I can't do everything. I can do what I can do.
But even guys like that, over time, from my personal experience, you build the rapport where they
understand.
You teach them how you work and that it will work for them,
Right.
and that you're there. You're their full. You're
Yeah.
their your main connection or whatever. But this is my team,
Right.
and you teach them how that works, and that sometimes you got to teach guys that.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that way it runs better for them, and they figure it out that it's like okay.
That part has been a transition for me, though. Coming from the structured of the service side, and everything was, I mean, basic. Your hours were the same. Everything was the same.
Right.
That's the part I miss about that.
Sure.
I got a lot more sleep because now I
Go
have a
in,
tendency
boom, boom, boom.
during my time go out, but now the hours don't mean anything.
Right,
Because it's just
you got
it's,
stuff
it-
to do,
Yeah,
things, customers.
and it's always in your mind.
Right.
So
What do you dislike about your career now, and what do you
corporate.
like?
Well, I think there's a real disconnect from boots on the ground, and the
I've
other
never
thing.
seen that ever happen.
Yeah, I know. Well, the thing is that the thing that's frustrating to me is watch guys rise up in a company, move to the next level, and then all of a sudden they think they know everything and their poop doesn't stink. And it's like, sorry, sir. I remember when you and I worked in the same place and we did the same thing. We put our pants on the same way every morning. So don't think just because you're here now that you're above me here.
Right.
Don't ever. If you ever want to, if you ever now, if it's one thing if I want to elevate you, but it's another thing if you try to elevate yourself, right?
You're not
So-
better than me.
No.
You have a different job now.
Right. Now, I like to respect people, and I do
Sure.
respect a lot of people.
Right.
And when I meet those people, I will edify them, and I will respect them. I'll open the door for them, and I will yes sir, no sir, and I will do those things. But if you come at me with this attitude,
Right. Oh yeah.
then we're gonna have a problem.
Big John has a problem.
Big John has a problem with that. So yeah, for me, it's that disconnect. I think that we see with corporations now, they've gotten away from it. They're always constantly. That's the other thing. Oh my God, getting away from the fundamentals and constantly changing. And the workplace is evolving. It is, and there's a lot of things out there. But the problem is that, for example, we have like 2 or 3 different programs that we work with, right? It's like, well, wait a minute. You got to keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah,
right
well-
here, this guy, I need one button. Don't be handing me something where I got to be, okay, if you want to do this, you got to go here, and then you go over here and you do this, and then you go over here, and then you got to do this, and then you back out, and then you go over here and you do this, and it's like, holy, who thought of this, and
Right.
why are we doing? And then the funny thing is, this part just kills me. They implement something, and then everyone comes up with a workaround, right? So
Explain that.
a workaround. Okay, so for example, okay, we have a procedure in place. We're gonna do it this way, and it's gonna be done this way every time, right?
Okay.
And then you put that procedure in place, and everyone's like, "Well, that's fabulous, but it doesn't work."
Okay.
So we have to come up with this other plan that's not by the book, but it works, and it gets us to the same place, but we don't have to do all of that stuff,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So you want to go back to the person and say, "Okay, so you were up here, and you had this. You were up here in the 35,000-foot level, looking down, and you thought, hey, the ants need to do this, and it'll be fabulous."
Right. Oh yeah.
And then the ants down here look up and go, "You don't know what we're doing down here."
Yeah.
You know, it was great. You ever saw that show, the one where the CEO would get in disguise and go work?
Oh,
Side by side.
undercover boss.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
I
love
thought that
show.
was fabulous, because
I
you
love
see
that show.
all these CEOs and they're like, "I just never realized just how awful this thing that I implemented was." And it's
Yeah,
like,
right,
well,
right.
that's because you didn't ask, genius.
Right.
That's the other half of things. Why don't people ask?
Right.
See, and I've seen that happen. We had a sales rep that was struggling in his position, and the manager kept saying, "Okay, here's what we need to do. You're going to keep a time log, and you and I are going to sit down every week. We're going to review every one of your accounts. We're going to figure out what you're doing and how you're going to do it." Oh, that's interesting. Why didn't you come to him and go, "Hey, what do you need from me so that you can be successful? What do we need to do to help you? I see that you're struggling here. What can I do to help you get from here to here?" Right? That's what they need. But no, the management style is, "Oh no, he obviously doesn't know. We want to do this. We're going to put our thumb on, push him down, push him down, push him down." Well, he's one. All you're causing is resentment, and you're not causing that willingness to be like, "Oh, hey, here's what I'm doing. Can you help me here?
It's not the
Help me
team.
understand." Yeah.
Not the team.
Back to team again. Sorry.
No, I
wind
agree.
up there every
Once
time.
again, I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
Everything I've done, I never, everything. Yeah, I mean, what I've accomplished in my life or not accomplished, and it's never even the thing that Johnny and I, the bond that we had, is I didn't do it all by myself. I instigated some of that. I came up with the idea, but I was never by myself.
Right.
It's always a team. There's always somebody with and that I share and enjoy with and make it better. So
I do want to throw this out there. You did ask about the morning, and I had a thought about this, and I want to share it with you because I know you're a big Seahawks and Shock fan.
yes,
So here's what I'd say about the morning, and this is what I wish that I had that I don't have in my current job right now. Let's just say this coming Sunday, you're going to a Seahawks game, and you've got to get up at 4:30 in the morning, right? How excited are you at 4:30 in the morning on Sunday when you're going to go to a Seahawks game?
I'm always excited.
You're ready to blow the roof off.
I
You
am
wanna go, right?
personally. I
Okay,
am.
right.
Yes.
How come I don't feel that way on Monday morning when I roll up and I want to go to work? How come my level of I want to be there so bad?
Energy and excitement,
Yeah.
enthusiasm.
Yeah,
Once again, if you find something you love and you love to do, it's never a job.
that's right. Haven't found that yet.
I'm working on it,
Are you?
actually.
Okay.
Yes. I'm actually, there's been, yeah.
We'll talk more, Vic.
We will.
When you
And,
find that, I'd really like to be a part of it.
you're already a part of it. I'm
Okay.
just trying to figure out you're already there though. You don't even know, but
Okay.
yes, we'll
All right.
chat.
So that was just one of my thoughts.
Yeah,
I wish I was in a position where when I woke up in the morning, I would be that excited about doing what I'm going to do,
Right.
rather than,
Right.
oh my gosh, I've got to get up, shower, drink, and have a Red Bull before I go to work so that my eyes are open and that I'm ready to do
Even
it.
doing what I was doing, the manual labor kind of last couple of summers for me, I wasn't that energy, but I still was looking forward because I was getting out and me being,
Mhm.
sure.
There's a certain aspect of it, but it's just not the enthusiasm. of
No,
it.
yeah.
You get it.
John, what do you think the biggest misconception the general public has about salespeople? What you do for your career? You're
I have all those misconceptions myself. So
okay.
ironically, my wife and I had this discussion, and I'll tell the story because I really like it. So we're discussing a family friend who's recently been through some tough stuff, and the husband had left the wife, and it was just not a really neat situation. And I asked her, I said, so what does he do for a living? And she says to me, well, he's some kind of sales guy. And I just start laughing. She goes, what's so funny? I said, honey, I'm some kind of sales guy.
That's yeah.
You know? I mean, that's just, you know, and people think that. What they don't understand, though, is that, you know, salesmen they're just like anything else. They can be good and they can be bad,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
You know, I mean, it's, you know, it's just a great example is the car salesman. You know, what's it going to take to get you into this car by the end of this conversation, right?
Today.
You know, what's it going to take to close this deal?
Right.
And you know, those things.
I love those salesmen.
You know, well, I bet you do. I
went-
can't stand them.
I went car
just
shopping with my parents because they were some years ago. They were looking, and I wanted to go with them because I enjoy that.
See, I need to take someone else with me. That my dad was a haggler, and he knew how to haggle. I don't know how to haggle. Here's my thing.
Yes.
You just tell me what it is, or what the price is, and that's what I want to pay. I don't. Let's not play games. Don't go back and tell me you're going to talk to your manager and go use the restroom, and then go outside and smoke a cigarette and come back in and go, oh, we're getting close.
I'll tell you my quick story to do with going to car shopping. Did a couple times, but we went to a place over in Coeur d'Alene and test drove it. My parents, and they were really happy with it. And then came back and looking at whatever. I don't remember at this point what the deal was, but I said, "That's the best you can do." He didn't know anything about me besides I was their son. And they said, "Well, this is where we're at." And I go, "Thank you. Let's go, Mom and Dad." Mom and Dad probably would have bought it. First of all, they're comfortable, but yeah, no. And the salesman just went, "What? You just told me you can't do anything better than that, didn't you?"
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't. Thank you. Bye-bye.
That answers my question.
Yeah, and he was just flabbergasted. And Mom and Dad, they were going, "Are you sure? We kind of like that." I go, "We can do better," and we did. But so
see, that's why I need somebody like
take
you
me
in my
shopping.
life. I can't do that. My dad was great at it. He did that to my youngest brother. They were looking at a car, and my brother thought they were closing the deal, and my dad said, "Okay, let's go." My brother was like, "What do you mean, let's go? I want the car." My dad's like, "Not here."
Right. Yep. You can get this.
So-
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Or my parents went shopping another time and dealt with a salesman, and they tried to work my parents against, because at the time my dad was Alzheimer's, dementia a little bit more, so they were trying to, the salesperson, somehow, some way, I don't know. Long story short, I got a phone call from my mom saying something's going on, and I got on the phone to the company, the car sales place or the car dealership, and I go, "We have a problem." Well, I go, who is? I talked to the sales manager. I go, "I don't know who's your salesman." Blah blah blah. I didn't swear. I said, "We have a problem." Well, I don't know what the problem was. Your dad was just fine. Of course he did. Once again, we have a problem. Yeah. And I need to go.
You took advantage, and we're gonna have a problem here.
Yeah. They were scared, and I loved it because they were backpedaling and doing this anyway. Not about me, but yeah, I love. Take me shopping. I'll go with you. I'll be the hard.
Sweet.
Because I just sit back and laugh.
That's fun.
Because I go, "Come on, John." We're almost done. So one of the biggest. I love asking this question.
Okay.
What did you want to be when you were a kid? Did you want to be an astronaut? Did you want to be a cowboy? Did you want to be a basketball player?
Actually, no.
Tango?
When I was a kid, I actually liked the military type stuff. I think that's why I scored so high in law enforcement.
Oh.
And actually, when I was pretending or playing college, I actually looked at joining the military. I think it would have been good for me. My personality fits really well in that situation because I can, order, respect, and dealing with and being a part of a team. I think would have been phenomenal for me. But law enforcement, I really felt like I really wanted to go in law enforcement. I really felt I could have made a difference. I'm really glad I didn't. For a couple reasons. I think I would have struggled, especially now.
Oh, tremendously.
You're talking back when I was wanting to be in law enforcement was the '80s, and that's back when people respected law enforcement.
Right.
And when a police officer pulled someone over, there was no fun and games. There was none of this.
Right.
What happens to police officers now, where they have to be a social worker, they have to be, and the expectation is they're supposed to understand every situation that they're in, and that, and I gotta tell you, there's a fear side of me. I got a special needs child, and I always worried about my son. He always wanted to learn how to drive, and I was always afraid for that. because he's got a thing about him, like if he was ever in an accident, he would be like, I'm right and you're wrong. And
just
and
because
whether
the way he
whether it is or whether
Right,
whether
right.
it is or
That's
not,
just the
that
way
would
his
be his perception.
right, just yeah.
And I always was in fear of how the public would handle that. And then as law enforcement rolls up on that and not knowing him and not knowing that he has these issues,
Right, right.
how would they deal with that?
Oh, wow.
Because, you know, that
Yeah.
could be scary. So,
Wow.
yeah, just different. So my philosophy's changed a lot. I have a lot of cop friends. I do. And I
yes.
love law enforcement people.
Right.
I think what's sad for them, and I tell them this, I said, how many people do you have, how many friends do you have that are outside law enforcement? Ask that question. Because majority of them will tell you, well, almost all my cops are friends, and that's a bad thing.
Oh yeah.
But you know, they have this fear part of them that they have to live with. Is what they're afraid of is at some point, they might have to deal with someone that's a friend in a law enforcement capacity, where they might have to arrest them,
Right, right.
or they might find something out about them that is not something that they can have in their life, and then have to deal with that. So it's not easy for them.
Right.
I mean, it's a double-edged sword.
I had breakfast with that was a former county sheriff today that
Oh,
I've
wow.
known for years.
Oh, okay.
And he used to call me when he was on the job. Quick story, and then we'll get the heck out of here, Brian. Ryan's still looking at me.
Yeah.
He never told me what was going on, because when he called me, I'd make him laugh. Because they don't share that's, but I would, because what was going on, I found out one time a teenage girl had died in a car accident from texting, and he was dealing with that, and he was on site with parents and family, and so, but when he called me, I didn't know it was he. Hey Bob, what's going on? And we would joke and laugh, and I'd lighten his mood, at least bring him some sunshine for all the misery he was dealing with. Yeah.
Yeah, because see, that's the other thing, the sad thing. Cops and firemen and everybody, they're not seeing people on their best day,
Exact. Oh yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If they're there, there's a reason they're there, and it's not always. It's not. It's
yes,
it's very rarely.
99
Yeah, they're not there to celebrate.
Are you
Right?
sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Right. John.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Really appreciate you guys inviting me in.
You know, hopefully, just your perspective, having special needs, you've dealt with challenges that a lot of people, and you enjoy life.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, sometimes it's a challenge, sometimes you're bummed out, but you have a great life.
It's all about your perspective, man. You get to choose, right?
It's, yeah, oh yeah.
Can I end on one story? I got one story that's going to make your day better no matter what happens. I'm telling you the
Okay.
truth. This happened last
How do you
Sunday.
know my day's not great already?
Because I'm just going to tell you. So last Sunday, we're getting ready for my grandson's 3rd birthday. My wife had to get up early to start baking his cake. She made this phenomenal cake for his birthday. But I'm in the shower getting ready, and my youngest daughter, Morgan, 23, who's mentally about 3, is crying. And I don't mean crying like a little cry. Very, very upset. Dad. And I'm like, sweetie, what is the matter? What is going on? Mom is mean. And I'm like, yeah, I know. We established that a long time ago. It's okay. What I need to know, sweetie, what's going on? What's wrong? What happened? She ruined my day. She ruined my life. I said, okay, all right. Can you please just tell me what happened? What happened with you and Mom? She ruined my she ruined my hokey pokey. And I'm like, oh my God. She ruined your hokey pokey. Okay, sweetie, it's going to be okay. I'm going to talk to Mom. As soon as I get out of the shower, I'm going to straighten this all out. So I go downstairs.
So you're still in the shower?
I'm still in the shower. I shower, I get dressed, I go downstairs, and I said, honey, what were you doing? She goes, what are you talking about?
To your wife?
Yeah, to my wife. I said, you ruined her hokey pokey. I said, what are you thinking about? I mean,
How dare you?
she's special needs and you're going to ruin her hokey pokey? So whenever you're having a bad day and things aren't going right, just remember one thing. Nobody's ruined your hokey pokey that day, okay? So take that one with you. Final note.
On that note, thanks, John. Oh my God. I love you.
I love you too, bro.
We'll be doing lunch soon with Raj.
All right.
Thank you for listening to Career Paths, or watching Career Paths by InfoNet. Please like, please subscribe, please share. We need all the help we can get, don't we, Ryan? Anything off your top of your head?
No.
John didn't need me to be here. He was on his own. I'm good. Thank you. That's the salesman outgoing guy that you are. Good job. Thanks for sharing. I appreciate all that
You're welcome.
perspective, and hopefully you can learn something. Till the next time, it's your life. Make it happen. We'll see ya. Bye-bye.